It's been a while since I played Outriders, mostly because the end game before was just lacking. It was nothing crazy. There wasn't much to do. It was the same thing over and over and over. And yes, I understand most games are that way. I agree. A lot of games are that way. But if the end game is also not interesting, then it doesn't really matter. It's like, do I want to do a grind where I'm seeing the same thing, I'm doing the same thing, I can predict where the enemies are coming from, I know exactly where everything is coming from, or would I rather do a grind where it's different every time? Well, personally, I don't mind the grinds. I love gear grinds. They're a lot of fun. Trying to figure out new builds, trying to figure out what works better than what. That's fun. I like that. But the way Outriders had it before was you do the same expedition the same way every time. And there was no variation. Enemies weren't different in the, like, say you picked Boomtown. It's always going to be insurgents. It's always going to have that boss at the end. So there was no variation. And that was the problem. Worldslayer somewhat fixed this. You can still do expeditions. There's now Apocalypse tiers instead of World tiers. I believe you can go back to the World tier system if you wanted, though. I don't know why you would choose that, but you can. The Apocalypse tiers, though, they go up to 40. You can go up to Apocalypse tier 40 now, which is kind of insane considering we were at 15 World tier before. I mean, like, think about that. That's an insane change, right? And you're gonna play and you're gonna be like, oh my god, this is so cool, I can go up to higher levels. But you know what? Those higher levels, they're hard. If you don't have a build that was meta before, they're hard. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've been struggling, to be honest. I'm on Apocalypse tier 13. I can go up to 16, almost 17, and 13 is not bad. I can do 13. I could probably do 14 or 15, but 13 kind of gives me that spot to grind the gear. 16 is a real challenge. And you know what? It's fun to do that sometimes. I have actually made it through about half of Tarya Gratar, which is the new end game, if you are unfamiliar with that. With tier 16 on my Pyromancer, which did not have a good build before. I did find a build that I liked from someone else, and I've been using it. The phaser beam is so much fun to use, and it's really nice to see a little bit of variation, at least, because before it was pretty much you use heat wave, living bomb, or thermal bomb, not living bomb, maybe ash blast in some builds, and what's the? I think it's like heat wave. And that was it. That was the build. That was what you ran as a Pyromancer. You had very little variation. Technomancer was blighted rounds. That was it. And I think that's still a very good build, like a very good build. But there's other ways you can build it now. There's other things you can do. I actually have a turret build on my Technomancer, and it works. It's a lot of fun. Devastator, they actually feel like a proper tank now, which is really cool. I've been really wanting that on my Devastator for a long time. Basically, I want to be a walking tank with that class, and I'm sure a lot of people do too. And I think with this new set that they have, it has a 5-piece. Basically, you can be a walking tank. You're gonna use melee primarily, but you're a walking tank, I guess, with a golem creature. I didn't know about that, but when I found that out, I was like, oh my god, I really want to make this set now. I am excited for the variation in builds. Like, it makes me want to play Outriders again. The biggest problem before was you had one build for each class, and that was it. Devastator, it was always bleed. Oh, I died. Well, that's the problem. So it was always bleed. And you know what? That's cool, but my Devastator is a tank. Like, I want to be able to walk around and just kill shit. That's what I want. That is what I looked for in the Devastator. And I'm gonna change subject real quick. So that said, I had 2 attempts left. Okay, so this is Tarya Gratar. 2 attempts left. That means I died. You get 3 tries. If you die 3 times, you have to start all the way back at the beginning. So say you're here, and I got here with my Devastator on tier 12. So again, I'm struggling. You know, if you had a build, you'll probably be fine. But if you got here and you failed, which this boss is kind of has a DPS check from what I can tell, so you do still need to be able to do some damage. You don't have to do like insane amounts of damage, but you do have to do some damage. So being a full tank with no damage, yeah, you're going to struggle a little bit. But as a full tank, as a Devastator, you should be able to do damage. My build is not properly done yet, so I'm lacking in the damage department, but I can survive. So that's a whole different thing. But if you're here, you die 3 times, you go all the way back to here. So it's kind of like a roguelike. I don't know the difference, but I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments. But you do keep the gear that you earned in here. So you're not losing out on gear. Like, say you get here, you got a bunch of gear that you really liked. You're not going to lose that gear. You keep the gear. It's just, you'll have to do the whole thing over again. And essentially, the end game is the rest of the story. So Tarya Gratar, by finishing it, you finish the story. I haven't actually seen that yet, so I don't know what it is. I'm looking forward to seeing it, but my time playing has actually been a ton of fun. I do suggest it if you liked Outriders. If you're a new player and you like, you like a gear grind, go for it. Try it out. You might like it. Classes I suggest, depending on what you want. Like I said, Devastator is going to be your tank. You can build it for like bleed damage, which is it's a definite possibility. Pyromancer is kind of like your mage. You're always using your anomaly abilities. That is your bread and butter. Technomancer, it can be weapons. It can be blighted rounds, which would go with the weapons. It could be a turret build. It could be a healing build. It could be an ice build, which is kind of what I do. I do an ice turret build. Let's see. I don't really know much on the last one. I actually even forgot the name of it. But it's the one that most people really like. And I liked it too, but I didn't really like the builds for it. So I pretty much avoided it. I have leveled it. I've gotten into Tarya Gratar, but that's just so I have the class if I ever do decide to play it. So there's tons of things you could do, and now there's more than one build for every class, which is a big deal. I mean, that was a fatal flaw that they had. If all of your classes have one build, no one's gonna like that. No one's gonna want to do that. They're going to be upset. One build is not enough to keep things going. People want variation. People want a theory craft. People want to try things out. Like, I would love to do an eruption build on my Pyromancer, and I do plan to try that after I get this build done. I think it would be a lot of fun. I love the ability, but it's always been kind of just a meh ability. Nothing special. And, it might still be. But the fact that we can now have 3 mods on our armor might change things. I don't know yet. It's still a little early to tell for me because I've only been playing since the early access for pre-order. There are people who have been playing, betas, whatever, and they have some good builds. I suggest if you're first getting into Outriders to look up a build. Look up something that's going to make it to where you can do all this stuff. To where you're not going to struggle, because if you're struggling too much, the game is going to be so challenging, you're probably not going to want to do it. But if you have a decent build, you can start going off of, like with that build, you can go off with that build, farm some things, and try another build. If you don't like it, go back to the other build. It pays to have a good build ready. That is definitely one thing with Outriders, and I think it's necessary. The game overall, though, great game, really fun, and I think I think they'll do some great things with it. With this, with Worldslayer, I think they have a really good base. I think it'll probably only last maybe a month for most people. People who will just sit there all day grinding it out. It's not gonna last a long time. Because you're sitting there all day grinding it out. But you got to think about it. These people have nothing else to do. So, and sometimes I'm one of them. So, like when I just want to turn my brain off, that's what I do, man. I go to a game and I just grind shit out. It's fun. It makes me not think of all of the other stuff I have to do, and it eases my mind. And I know for a lot of people that's the case. It's just a way to turn off their mind. And that's kind of why I like Outriders, because I don't have to think super hard. If I'm really struggling, I can just turn down the difficulty and try it a different way. And that's really it. I don't have to get mad. I'm not gonna be freaking out because, oh, I died, now I'd start all over. It's more like, I died, I got some gear, you know what, yeah, I gotta start over. I'll just lower the difficulty a little bit and try to get some more gear. So it's a good kind of relaxing game, at least for me. Other people may not see it this way. I think I think I probably think very differently than a lot of people. I think a lot of people get stressed out when they play video games, and it's a big issue in gaming right now. But overall, Worldslayer, I would rate it like an 8 if you've played before and you like the game, a 7 if you're new to the game, because there's new grind and there's different builds. So if you like the game before, you're going to like it even more. If you are new to the game, it's going to be a lot and you're going to be confused. So that's why I rate them differently. And maybe these games aren't for everyone. I play Warframe, I play Destiny, I play a lot of these types of games, so they are for me. But it's a whole different mess. It's up to you if you like a game or not. It's up to you if you like a genre or not. No one's going to tell you, oh, you have to like this. And if they do, well, obviously they're wrong. You don't have to like anything. So you have to decide for yourself. But my opinion is it is a good expansion. It is a good game. And I am actually very glad that I pre-ordered it, because I've been having fun with it. And I got to play it before Sunbreak came out, because I am really looking forward to playing a bunch of Monster Hunter Sunbreak with some friends and just having a good time. I love Monster Hunter. It's a great game. So probably expect a review on that as well. But as you can see, I'm not struggling killing these enemies, but you can tell my build is not done. This phaser beam build, I actually saw the guy who made it. He was pulling damage numbers of like 437 million and stuff, and I was like, what the hell? And that was part of what made me want to try it, because getting those big numbers is a lot of fun. I mean, I die all the time. Pyromancer's hard because you don't have a lot of life. Like, you can regen life like crazy as long as things are burning. But again, your build has to be ready. My build is not. So I'm struggling quite a bit. My Devastator is actually much easier to play. So if you're gonna play Pyromancer, I strongly suggest you try to get a build as quickly as you can, because it's harder, in my opinion. Not everyone's gonna agree with me, and that's fine. I'm not saying, I'm right about this, because maybe I'm not. Maybe it is an easy class and I just suck. That's actually very likely. I am not good at a lot of games, but I have fun playing them. I like to make builds. I like to do these things. I like to have fun. And that is what Outrider has provided. And I think I'll be able to make some good builds once I kind of understand all the new stuff, once I kind of get my groove back, because it's been a while. And even back when I used to play Outriders before this, I think I was struggling quite a bit figuring out builds for certain characters because I couldn't actually kill things with the build I had. Like, they would die, but it would take too long, or that was when they had the time system in, or I would be dying too much, so I couldn't actually finish anything, so I wasn't getting gear. So I was struggling. And you know what? That's something that you might experience. Hopefully you don't. Hopefully you have better luck than me. Hopefully you're better at the game than me. But I do think you will have fun with this game. Just give it a chance if you're curious, if you think the game is something you'd be interested in. I believe you can get both Outriders and Worldslayer for like $60 right now. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on it. But that was what I saw last time I looked. But that being said, I also have both of them, so I don't know for sure. But it's a game worth playing if you like a grind. It's a game worth playing if you like to make different builds. It's a game worth playing if you just want to kind of chill out. So, if you like it, check it out. If you don't think I'm right, that's fine. Tell me. I mean, hey, we all have different opinions. Outriders, not the best game I've ever played, but it's a good game. I think, personally, I like the gameplay better than, say, Destiny. Destiny, I don't know what it is, but I don't like it as much. I do like Destiny, but not as much as Outriders. The problem with Outriders is there is not enough endgame content to keep me playing for more than a month. Destiny has so much content that I could probably play for a long time, even with them getting rid of content. But the getting rid of content leaves a very bad taste in my mouth, so yeah. But Destiny's still a good game. Outriders is a great game. I suggest all these games that I've mentioned, so Warframe, Destiny, Outriders, I suggest all of them. They're all great games. I have a ton of guides for Warframe on here. I have, I think, a couple of guides for Outriders. They are outdated, so they probably don't even come close to working anymore. But I do think I might try to get some builds out for Outriders if people show interest in it. So let me know if you're interested in Outriders, and I'll try to get some builds going. I'll try to, actually work at this because I love this game. I want to play it. So finding builds and stuff, that's fun to me. They're not going to be the best of the best of the best. I don't like playing meta. Meta is boring to me. I like to build the meta build just so I have something to farm with to make my other builds. That is what it is. It's for a base. Meta builds are good for a base. After that, I feel the need to play what I find fun. So like a Technomancer turret build with the turret set. I guess that's a new one. It actually amplifies your turrets. That is something that's fun to me. But I don't think people are building that. So you cannot expect meta builds from me because I'm not trying to build meta builds. I don't like meta. Meta is boring. Yes, it gets you through everything. Yes, it's the fastest, but it is boring. So, anyways, this has gone on long enough. I've been talking for 20 minutes now. Do I suggest Outriders? Yes. Do I suggest Outriders Worldslayer? Yes. But expect it to only last for about a month, maybe a little more, if you're going really hard, if you're working, if you have, a bunch of other things going on. and you're only playing like 2-3 hours a day, Outriders is going to last you a while. So don't worry too much about that. It is a fun game. You will very likely enjoy it. And I personally suggest it. So it's up to you though. Give it a try. Let me know what you think about it. If you're already playing it, let me know if you have any cool builds. Again, I don't like meta. So you can show me a meta build, but I can find that everywhere because that's what everyone plays. But I like to see those obscure builds. I like to see those weird builds, you know, a sniper build, a turret build, a never die tank build. You know, stuff like that is fun. So show me the builds that you come up with. I would love to see them. And with that being said, guys, I will try to get some builds on here if I see some interest in this. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button. I will be trying to get out a video at least bi-weekly. Like I said, I have a lot of stuff going on in my life, so I don't have as much time as I used to when I was releasing videos every week. Things have changed. I don't have that much time anymore, but I do want to still be releasing videos, so hopefully this helps your decision. If you guys ever want to play Outriders with me, just let me know in the comments. I do have a Discord, so if you're interested, say so in the comments and I will link you my Discord and we can get some Outriders in. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.